Ever feel like, you're dragging a heavy stone while everyone else is just effortlessly flying?
Oh, yeah. That's a heavy feeling.
Right. Well, welcome to today's deep dive. We're unpacking this really stunning piece of writing called Talking About Jesus. And our mission today is to decode how this text functions as a powerful short sermon on navigating that exact feeling.
Specifically, handling envy, enduring suffering, and, finding ultimate joy in Christ.
Exactly. And what's really compelling here is how the author, they just bypass high-level theology at first, right?
Yeah, they go straight for the emotional jugular. The text sets up this brutal contrast.
Yeah.
On one side, you have people living completely apart from God who just seem to have it all.
Like nothing ever goes wrong for them.
Right. Their lives are described poetically as a flawless tapestry woven with thread of gold.
Right, while the person actually trying to live faithfully is, drowning and piling bills and aching bodies. The text captures that perfectly.
Yeah, feeling like you have a literal stone tied to your chest.
It's like endlessly scrolling through someone else's pristine social media highlight reel while your own living room ceiling is literally caving in.
Spot on. It's exhausting.
So let's unpack this a bit, because the text acknowledges that chilling midnight whisper telling you that you've been forsaken. But it doesn't just leave us wallowing there, does it?
No, it doesn't.
It feels like the author is validating the exhaustion first. So we drop our defenses before they deliver the real message. Is that a trap?
Well, I wouldn't call it a trap. By validating that profound spiritual exhaustion, the text really earns the right to challenge our perspective.
Makes sense.
We get so caught up in the disparity of the moment that we forget to look at our foundation. The author calls out to the forgetful soul, right, to wake up from what is essentially a psychological trap.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. The text calls all that worldly prosperity a fragile kingdom built entirely upon shifting sands.
Yeah, it warns against trading an eternal birthright for just a momentary bowl of soup.
But let me play devil's advocate for a second. Isn't it, I don't know, incredibly tempting to dismiss worldly wealth as a fading shadow only when we don't actually have it?
Like a case of sour grapes.
Yes. It sounds a bit like sour grapes.
I mean, it's a supernatural human reaction to think that.
Yeah.
But if we connect this to the bigger picture, the text isn't just saying wealth is bad because you don't have it.
Okay, so what is it saying?
It's diagnosing a fundamental human flaw. We're constantly trying to fill an infinite void with finite things. And, well, the math on that simply doesn't work.
Because finite things expire. Earthly wealth rusts, beauty fades.
Exactly.
And public applause inevitably moves on to the next shiny thing. So if you anchor your identity to something with an expiration date, your peace of mind expires right along with it.
Precisely. That's the whole why behind the text calling it grasping at the wind.
Right.
When you tie your happiness to external circumstances, your brain is always on high alert. You're terrified of losing what you've built. The happiness might be loud, but it vanishes the second the environment changes.
So what does this all mean for the person whose environment is currently terrible? Like the one still drowning with that heavy stone tied to their chest?
That is the big question.
Because if worldly success is an illusion, the text really has to offer a concrete alternative.
And it does. The alternative the text offers is eternal belonging to Christ. It frames Christ as the quiet anchor in the fiercest storms.
Quiet anchor. I like that.
But more importantly, it completely changes the mechanics of how we process suffering. The text describes hardships not as signs of abandonment, but as the chisels of a loving sculptor.
Oh, wow. I love that translation of pain. It takes these random chaotic hardships and gives them a mechanism of action.
Right, it reframes the pain.
It reframes it as construction rather than destruction. You aren't being crushed, you're being refined.
Yes, and think about how that shifts a person's psychological and physical stress response. When you believe an ordeal is meaningless, it induces despair. But if you view that same ordeal as an intentional shaping process, refining you for a glory that outlasts the stars, the pain becomes purposeful.
Your nervous system can actually settle because you trust the one holding the chisel. That changes the entire landscape of suffering.
It really does.
Your ultimate joy isn't tethered to the unpredictable, often brutal circumstances of this broken earth. It's held securely by the Creator.
Right. You don't need the flawless golden tapestry if you know you are being actively shaped by the sculptor.
Which reminds you that true peace is never going to be the absence of storms.
It's having that quiet, unbreakable anchor within them.
Exactly. Which leaves you with this to think about. If we truly accepted that our daily struggles, the late notices, the aching joints, that heavy stone on our chest, are actually just the chisels of a master sculptor, how differently would you react to the very next obstacle you face today?